Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. Today guys, I'll be checking out this interesting video from Sky News Australia, and it's titled Bizzare Performance, Douglas Murray Analyzes Biden DNC Address. You guys, I'm excited for this. If you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please consider subscribing. Give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And without much ado, let's see what this video is all about.
Joining me now is best-selling author Douglas Murray. Douglas, the Democratic National Convention is underway, and we are told the Democrats are all about joy, but inside and outside the venue, it appears that the modern left is devoid of joy. There are violent protests from a range of activists outside in Chicago, and inside the convention, we've had plenty of vitriol, including President Biden's manic rant, where he repeated many debunked lies like this.
When the president was asked what he thought had happened, Donald Trump said, and I quote, "There are very fine people on both sides. My God." That's what he said. That is what he said and what he meant. That's when I realized, had to listen to the admonition of my dead son, I could not stay in the sidelines. So I ran.
Douglas, even Snopes has debunked this fake news, but President Biden persists with this inflammatory lie even after an assassination attempt almost saw President Trump shot dead. Why do the Democrats persist with this lie? Why are they so tied to this narrative?
Absolutely. It's just one of a set of completely debunkable lies that just should have no place in politics. If people want to stop lying in politics, they should start by just not lying themselves. Joe Biden has been using this complete misquotation from what former President Trump said after the Charlottesville appalling scenes there in 2017. He has kept using this claim that Donald Trump simply said fine people on both sides, as opposed to some of the people trying to defend statues in the area were fine people. But Trump went on to say that there was no excuse for the neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and so on who were on show that day. Joe Biden has had plenty of opportunity to correct himself, but he just doesn't. He's determined to stick to the narrative. And if you look at that very strange performance of his last night, it's a complete replica of performances he's done before. He talks about Charlottesville. He claims that Donald Trump praised the neo-Nazis. He then cites his late son, Beau. And it's as if Biden knows this will fire himself up, and he hopes will fire his supporters up. It's the same thing with the Democrats trying to claim that former President Trump referred to a bloodbath coming if he comes back, as opposed to a bloodbath for the automobile industry if Kamala Harris were to get in. But, you know, as I say, if people actually care about lying in politics, just don't lie. And these are just straight out, completely verifiable lies that Biden is telling about the person who was his opponent. And I think it's just appalling. And if Trump was doing this, people would call it out. I see no reason why they shouldn't do it if Biden is.
Yeah. Especially if it had been an assassination attempt against President Biden, and you still put forward these really ugly, inflammatory lies. Now, President Biden was also angry about the Israel-Hamas war. He wants a permanent ceasefire, and he thinks that the anti-Israeli protesters outside the venue have a point. Biden, let's have a listen to what he said about these protests.
And finally deliver a ceasefire and end this war. Those protesters out in the street, they have a point.
Douglas, your reaction to that, and looking forward, what sort of foreign policy can we expect from a Harris-Walz administration? Kamala has also made it clear she does not see this war through a binary lens, to use her words.
Well, I mean, again, such a bizarre performance by Biden. I mean, so angry, so sort of filled with fury, which I just can't help thinking looks completely put on. I have to say, it just looks completely staged and fake to me. That performance, as if he's trying to show there's a life in the older guy yet. But yeah, he whipped himself up to that, and then that very strange claim that people outside have a point. Well, yes. I mean, everybody wants the killing to stop. Everyone wants the war to stop. The follow-on question, the only important question, is on whose terms? Is it once Hamas has been destroyed or surrendered and given back the remaining Israeli hostages, or is it just stop now because everybody hates killing? Well, I have to say, I mean, I'm not sure how much Joe Biden is able to think this through anymore. Yeah. But I'm not sure whether Kamala Harris has much of an ability to think it through either. I mean, the banalities that come from these people outside the DNC in Chicago this week, by the way, which include people flying Hamas flags and wearing Hezbollah uniforms, which, by the way, as prescribed terrorist organizations, ought to be an offense in the United States. But let's park that for now. If he thinks they have a point, well, why doesn't he say to them that if you want to free Gaza, the best thing to do is to free Gaza from Hamas? Why doesn't he correct these people? Because what he has realized in the last year, and what I think Kamala Harris, if she does become president, will realize very fast, is these kinds of protesters are not going to stop with a little bit of on the one side, on the other ism. They burn the American flag in the capital of DC, as well as the Israeli flag, these protesters. These are not some kind of, simply want to cause a ceasefire and stop the killing sort of Dalai Lama or, I don't know, Buddhist sort of, pacifists.
You guys, what are your thoughts on this video? Douglas Murray is right once again, and I totally agree with him. What do you guys think about everything he has said so far? Do you agree with him on this particular one? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, and let's continue watching, you guys.
Far, far from it.
You're so right there. They've shown us who they are over and over again, and some politicians, some in the media refuse to see it. Now, on the issue of the economy, and it's probably the number one issue in America along with the illegal immigration crisis, you've written in the New York Post about the choice Americans face in November, and when it comes to economic policies, you argue the choice is between those who will grow the size of the economy and those who will grow the size of the state. Kamala Harris is arguing strongly that Americans should continue to march forward. Is that how you see it?
Yes, of course, because in the same way that Joe Biden sees all things as being either him or the Nazis, in the case of Kamala Harris, of course, her great insight into politics is that we should go forwards, not backwards. And actually, as I mentioned in that piece in the New York Post, when it comes to the economy, going backwards a bit wouldn't be such a bad thing. The economy between 2016 2020 did far better, and that's until the COVID disaster, did far better, certainly, than the Harris-Biden administration has managed economically in the 4 years since. And you simply need to look at any of the figures, whether it's median household income, whether it's things like the rise in median household income for Black Americans, by the way, which was better under Trump than under Obama, as well as much better than it has been under Trump-Harris. If you look at just things like inflation, which is, causing just devastation to Americans paying their bills each month, or you go to something like the attainability of getting on the household ladder. First-time home ownership is tougher now than it's been in America at any point since 1984. And so when Kamala Harris says, we need to go forwards into this great world, which, by the way, I've been the second most important person in for the last 4 years, but give me a chance for another 4 years because that's where it'll really improve. I think people just need to look at the figures. The figures in the economy under Biden-Harris have been really pretty woeful. And Harris should certainly come up with a better plan than let's go forwards if she's going to persuade the electorate in November.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, given some of her economic policies about price controls, I think the less she says, the better it will be for her, because it's, wow, she's quite radical in some of those positions.
You guys, what are your thoughts on this video? I really enjoyed every minute of this video, and Dr. Mary said nothing but the truth, because everything the Biden-Harris administration promised the American people hasn't been fulfilled, and I don't know why anyone would want to count on them once again. But let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section down below. It was really very insightful, and I enjoyed every minute of this video. If you guys enjoyed watching, give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.